Okay, since you have gotten this question wrong, let's try and solve this question together. So the question tells you that I have a secondary coil of an ideal transformer connected to a 20 ohm resistor. So you want to find the current in the primary coil. So the confusing part in this is you're not directly given the variables, so you need to do some manipulation in order to solve the question. So what are some of the variables that we have? Okay, so over here we have our turns. So this is your MP, this is your NS, okay, and you have your V, so this is your VP. What we want to find, however, is actually IP. So how do we manipulate these variables so that we get into IP? So we're only given a 20 ohm resistor. So how can we make use of this 20 ohms? So because this 20 ohms is on the other side, right? So we actually need to find the VP and, or rather not VP, but VS and IS of the other side, the secondary coil, so that we can make use of the 20 ohms resistor. So first, how do we find Vs? So we know the formula that Vs over Vp is equals to Ns over Np. Okay, so based on this, let's just substitute the values. So Vs is given to be, we don't know. Okay, but we know Vp is given to be 240. Ns is given to be 50. And Np is given to be 200. So based on this, let's solve for Vs. So if you do your math, take your calculators and press in the values. Okay, you should get Vs to be 60 volts. Okay, if you've done it correctly. So since you know that your Vs is actually 60 volts, so that means we can solve for our Is, because V is equals to IR, right? So V is 60, I is what we want to find, R we know is 20. So in this case, you can solve for, sorry, not R, but I. So 60 divided by 20, that gives you 3. So you actually solve for I to be 3, which this I in this case is IS. Okay, so now that I solve for IS, I need to find IP. So how can I equate them together? So again, let's use the formulas. So IS over IP is equals to NP over NS. Okay, so let's just substitute the values in. So 3 over IP is equals to MP, which is 200 over 50. So let's use our calculators again to find what is the answer. So, okay, then you get your IP to be 0.75 ampere. Okay, so the answer for this is actually A. Okay, then that's how we can solve this question.